by a board of people that are overseeing it. They're making sure it's going to his wishes. And that was all set up before his death. And he wanted it to be run privately this way and not owned by the city or the state. So those are the people, as someone passes away or has to get off the board for some reason, then they elect new members. And they're all people who are concerned with that.
He left an endowment to fund.
He did, but it wasn't enough. That's why we had to eventually charge, because it was something he'd been advised wasn't quite enough, but he passed away before he could fix that. So unfortunately, his endowment wasn't as right up to snuff as it should have been. So that's why we eventually had to charge. First it was free, and then it was just like an asked donation with a suggestion, and then eventually they had to start charging more and more and more. And then they decided, all right, we're going to make it a lot and then cap it. So that's what they did. So that's why they have to charge now.
How much does it cost to like maintain the property?
I don't know that. Yeah, that's
A lot of money.
Yeah.
Yes, yes,
No, but you
yes.
have to generate a lot of money.
They obviously do.
Just curious.
Well, they,
Friend
for
zones and
example,
all of that.
Right.
for
Yeah, garden doses.
okay. Yeah, but like, I mean, this is our rose garden. This is just part of it we're looking at so far. We're going to walk down through it in a minute here. I just wanted to point this out to you. In Mr. Huntington's time, this little area here where you see these roses, this is where Mrs. Huntington, Arabella Huntington, had her aviary. So it was a little different then. And now it's planted to the roses that are Chinas and teas. So these are some of the roses that come from that part of the world. And they are often the first crosses with the European roses, which had a really nice big bush and beautiful flowering, lovely fragrances, but they only bloomed once a year for the most part. And the Chinese roses, they bloom over and over and over. And that's where we get our reblooming trait from, is from these lovely Chinese roses. Also, their growth tips are a little closer together, so they're a little more compact than some of the larger European roses that are quite sprawling. And so these are some of the things that made our current modern roses get, especially that reblooming trait. Okay, we'll come down through here. I just want to let you know this is our tea room. This is open for afternoon tea. So if you want to have hot tea here, you can go in there and talk to them about a reservation. Or if they have anything open today, you can sit inside or out and have a very lovely special deal if you feel like that. This central part of the building here is also one of the Myron Hunt buildings. This was built for Mr. Huntington to have his billiards and also a bowling alley in this building. So it's been considerably converted since to food service. Okay, we'll continue down.
So it's kind of like his man cave of the day.
Man cave of the day, exactly.
But-
Arabella wasn't having anything to do with games in the house. She thought it was vulgar.
Michelle, is that a magnolia tree?
It is, yes. Isn't it beautiful? It's
I've
an
never seen
unusual
that.
one, though.
Yeah. What, did you know anything about that one?
No, I know it's not the usual one we see. I don't remember where it's from, though. Right. Exactly. Far more
A lot
sideways.
of roses here still in there.
If we come down here, you can see the southern magnolia in comparison. Because we have a huge one.
I've never seen a magnolia. I have a magnolia.
That tree in the corner of the house,
Oh, I see it. Yeah.
there's the extension of the house that sticks this way. That's the main portrait gallery. So it wasn't a room of the house originally. That was just built for portrait. So in the corner there is that beautiful magnolia. That is the one from the south. One of the great things about the Huntington is there's room to have these trees
There's
with
only
lower
one bush,
branches
and it's
and
not
not
at
worrying
the front
about
of the bed, it's
sidewalks
sort
and
of-
cars and people walking by and so forth. So you can really see what they look like naturally. So of course it's an enormous tree with enormous flowers. Really a treat to see that. Also here in the Rose Garden we have these beautiful trees which were planted from seed in 1912. And these are Montezuma cypress. And you know how often we put weeping willows around graveyards? This is something that in Mexico was common to do with these trees. So Mr. Hertrick was down in Mexico collecting succulents when he went to Chapultepec Park and found these trees in seed, put it in his pocket, and came out and planted here and in the lower gardens. So these lovely trees from 1912 we're very glad to be able to have. Okay. Montezuma cypress.
I would like to come back and do it again.
Montezuma meaning always big.
That's right. And it's weeping. He's weeping
Yes,
for his
that was the
enslaved
part I couldn't
people.
remember
That's
the
what.
name.
That's
like
the
enslaved
idea. Alrighty. Let's continue down this way a little bit. Just to let you know, down here is the subtropical garden, which is the collection of South American, South African, and Australian plants on this hillside with little paths running through, and they often smell really good. So it's a fun place to walk through. Very rustic. And then at the bottom, it opens out to the Australian collection of plants. Lots of eucalyptuses and so forth.
I didn't realize eucalyptus is from Australia.
Yeah, I know. Wouldn't you swear they were California? Yeah. I was so astonished.
Or from the Greece
Yeah.
area. They're
the
very
Mediterranean.
Mediterranean. There's a lot.
Continued up with the south terrace of the house. That didn't work out, so they took those arches out from this point on, and then put the statue there instead to make this all seem reasonable
meant to do.
and not crazy. The little mess they had to deal with. Okay, I'm going to take you down this way toward the Japanese garden. I want to let you know we also have an herb garden right on the other side of that part of the pergola. So that's a fun place to go too if you have time. Oh, all sorts of